the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. 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 When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men trying to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night.
Well, you may be wondering why I'm here by myself. Unfortunately, my partner in crime, KK Kulekani Tlungwani, was unable to attend this game. So, for the first time in Bullseye history, I'll be a one-man show. But my pledge to you is that I will bring the tenacity, the passion, the energy, the electricity of two men. So, the show must go on, and let's crack on in earnest with the Trans Yukskay Derby. Of course, 2 derbies in a row. Last time out here, we broke a record in the URC in the Southern Hemisphere for attendance, 41,000 people in. Maybe this derby doesn't carry that kind of weight, but still, over 20,000 tickets sold. We're expecting a big vocal crowd here at Loftus Versfeld. There's clearly still an appetite for the Trans Yukskay Derby. These two teams both still in the playoff hunt. Vodacom Bulls 6th, but their position in terms of getting that home quarterfinal is in a bit of jeopardy. They need to start winning and winning soon. The Lions languish at 12th on the log. They have a very, very slight mathematical chance of making it. Of course, they won't make a home quarter, but just to get to that vital 8th position, they need to win out starting today. So many permutations, so much on the line in this Trans Yukskay Derby between the Vodacom Bulls and the Emirates Lions right here at Loftus Versfeld. But before we get to this game, we have to chat about our last game against the DHL Stormers. Of course, a heartbreaking loss, 23-19, 4 points in it. We've now lost 5 on the trot in front of a groundbreaking, record-breaking crowd. And you have to end up asking the question, are the Stormers just a better team than us? And unfortunately, I have to put my hand up here and say, right now, yes. But that chasm between the two in quality is not nearly as great as Stormers fans will have you believe. I still think the Vodacom Bulls are not far off a victory. And should they play again in the quarters, in the semis, or even in the final, I reckon the Vodacom Bulls have enough firepower, ability, wise, guile to win that game. But let's chat about losing 23-19, and I think the word of the day, and if you're a fan of the show and you tune in often, you'll know we're always pumping the word efficiency. The Vodacom Bulls were just simply not efficient, whereas the DHL Stormers were incredibly efficient. Right now in modern rugby, it's not about how much you hold onto the ball or for how long you hold onto the ball for or how much territory you have. It's about when you're in the 22, how many times are you scoring? What do those scores look like? Are you scoring tries? Are you converting those tries? Are you just coming away with threes? How efficient are you in the red zone? The Vodacom Bulls, unfortunately, were not efficient, and this is backed up in the stats. They had 64% possession, 62% territory. They forced the Stormers to make a whopping 186 tackles to just 54, but the Stormers won. They scored more tries than us, they were more efficient, and ultimately won the game. So again, that tells you, efficiency is the name of the game, not holding onto the ball and playing champagne rugby and running it all over the park. Secondly was the Stormers' defense, and I've mentioned this now already, making 186 tackles to just 54 of the Vodacom Bulls, basically 4 times the tackles that the Bulls had to make. On top of that, they had a 90% tackle completion percentage to just 78 of the Vodacom Bulls. So not only are they making a lot of tackles, they're completing those tackles. And a bit of a deep dive into those stats will show that the Stormers made 26 dominant tackles. That is the most of any team in the Vodacom URC this season. Dion Fourie was the standout. He made 5 by himself, which is the most by any one single player this season. So again, the Stormers weren't just making a lot of tackles and completing those tackles, they're making a lot of dominant tackles, stymieing that momentum. And lastly was turnovers. 9 turnovers to just 2. We mentioned that the Stormers struggle to win the ball and struggle to retain their own ball. But they went into this fixture and defending a lot of the time were able to win the ball and turn the ball over a lot of time. Dion Fourie, man of the match performance, he won 3 by himself. So again, it just shows you that the more you force opposition to hold on to that ball, the more opportunities are available to steal that ball and win that ball. I want to end the segment on a high note, however. Ulrich Loh was immense, in my opinion. He made more successful carries than anyone else on the field with 10. He made the most meters with 61, the most offloads, and he set up Sabu Nkosi with that beautiful try assist in the corner he had Loftus Vassell. So that's one high point. Ulrich Loh is entering that elite level, and I believe he will be part of the Springbok plans going to the World Cup later this year in France. Okay, let's move on to the game at hand, and let's start with the lineups. The Emirates Lions, first of all, Jake White mentioned that the Lions have picked their heaviest pack ever. Asanati Nhlabakani is 150 kgs at 3. Ruben Skuman is over 125 kgs. Willem Alberts is close to 130 kgs. Chituka, Frankie Orn, this is a big, heavy pack. Clearly, that's how they want to play. But in the backs, they've got a lot of ballers. Edwil van der Merwe on the wing, Rubs Makswani on the other wing, Kuan Horn at fullback. No Jordan Hendrickson, he's got a shoulder injury, but Gianni Lombard is more than capable at 10. So big forwards, exciting backs. They're clearly here to make a physical statement. Can the Vodacom Bulls step up to that? Well, let's look at this Vodacom Bulls team. 2 changes in the forwards, Veerje Steenkamp in at 7. Clearly, that's an indication of how we want to play. Carl Brink on the bench. Carl Brink brings the hammer. He's that I'll bludgeon you to death kind of player. Veerje Steenkamp is more playing with energy, with guile, in the wider tram line. So again, maybe another indication of how the Vodacom Bulls want to play. They don't want to counter fire with fire. They want to run them off their feet, the Lions that is. And then the other change, Dylan Smith comes in at 1, playing against his former team for the first time. No Gerrit Steenkamp, but I think that is not so much injury or form related. It's more to do with just giving the man a rest. In the backs, a host of changes. Corner Hendrick shifts 1 in to outside center. In the back 3, you've got a number of changes in Sibungile and Vuka. At Wandi Simelane retreading from 13 to fullback. Mornay Steyn in the 10, winning his 151st Vodacom Super Rugby and URC cap. So again, a lot of changes, quite a lot of reshuffling. But still, Jake White mentioned that the way we want to play and the way he wants to pick his team, it's not just about the individual player, it's about the combination. It's also about improving that player's chances down the line. We need to have players that are interchangeable. This is the positionless movement, where the number on your back is not as important as the way you approach the game. We're seeing that with David Krill returning to 12 after making his debut there for the Vodacom Bulls against the Emirates Lions at the start of the season. So a lot of changes, a lot of reshuffling. Will be very interesting to see how we play. So let's get to those changes and let's take a bit of a deep dive. 8 in total, 5 new players, 3 positional changes, starting with Dylan Smith as I mentioned. But the one I want to harp on is Veerje Steenkamp. As I said earlier, he's there to bring that energy, bring that tenacity. He's not going to play Carl Brink's game. We know Carl Brink is nicknamed the Hitman. He's there to bludgeon you to death, get over the advantage line, make those big hits, fold you like a lawn chair. Veerje is a very, very different player. He'll approach it with that guile. He will play with that high rugby IQ. He's not just going to run direct and try and run over you. He's going to try and run around you and use that footwork. The other change in the backs is Embrose Papier in at 9. He's clearly there to inject some life, some juice into this Vodacom Bulls team. That's what he did off the bench against the Stormers. I thought he upped the ante. He clearly plays with high up tempo game plan. He's quick to the ball. Maybe he doesn't have the passing ability of a Zach Burger, but he will up the ante, up the tempo, and that's what we want against this Lions team that we're trying to run off their feet. And there's no respite for them off the bench. We've gone with Bernard van der Linde, very similar player to Embrose Papier. Then at 10, Mornay Steyn, the guy everyone wants to chat about. I thought he was a calming presence off the bench against the Stormers. He controlled the game and pulled the strings. He kicked that beautiful 50-22. He was accurate in front of the uprights. He was calm under pressure under the high ball. I'll be very interested to see how he goes with an extended run, starting from minute dot, and see how he can play. Can he go 50, 60 minutes and then let Chris Smith come on and close out the game? Then in the centers, as I mentioned earlier, 2 big changes. No Wandisile Simelane, no Harold Forster. In comes David Krill at 12. big, tall, maybe not a physical 12 like a Harold Forster. He's not going to get low and pump the legs, that low center of gravity that we've come to expect from Harold. But he plays a very different game. He's got a great skill set. He's got a great kicking game. He can kick off either foot. He can step off either foot. He has the ability, or the pace, should I say, to play in the outside backs, to mix it up with the wings and fullbacks. Therefore, he brings a very different dynamic to this Vodacom Bulls center combination. And alongside him, of course, at 13, no Wandisile Simelane, but in comes Cornel Hendrick, shifts one in from the wing. And I'm really excited to see that, because I thought Cornel had a solid game against the Stormers. Good under the high ball. Good stepping on the inside and cutting through like butter. Good defensively, but he doesn't have that pace that he once possesses. Of course, he's a man in his mid-30s, so I think playing him at 13, I think that's the right decision, and I'm excited to see how he goes. Last two is in the back three, and that's Sibongile Novuka on the wing. The last time we saw him play here at Starcher at Loftus Versfeld, he scored that sensational try against Lyon. A lot of players we've had on the podcast, that's myself and KK, have had on the podcast, have said that he is one of, if not the fastest man in the entire squad. That includes Kanan, Kirtley, Rocketman, David Krill, all of those players. He is lightning. He is absolute electricity when the ball's in his hands, but he's also a big man, over 1.9 meters tall. He's got that ability under the ball. He's a former fly half and fullback. He can kick off either foot, so dangerous player, and the full package. Can he put it all together this afternoon and put on a really good show going up against a lightning player and himself in Rabs Makswane? And then at fullback, Wandisile Simelane, again, after starting out at fullback, then moving to 13, his natural position where he probably looks most comfortable, he returns to fullback. And again, Jake White said, this is in Wandisile's best interest. If he can master two different positions, that only heightens his stock when you're looking at Springbok opportunities, when you're looking at longevity in this Vodacom Bulls team. It's not just about the number on your back. How many positions can you play? How comfortable are you in these different positions? So really excited to see Wandisile Simelane go. We know he's the hot stepper and probably operating in more space at fullback. Yes, there's some questions under the high ball in terms of kicking game, but we know he's got that footwork. We know he's got that speed and ability to open or uncork the back line. So seeing him operating from fullback, I think, just unlocks the Lions defense that little bit more. So speaking of the Lions, let's chat about some strengths and weaknesses. I'll start with the strengths. If I'm being perfectly honest, not too many to chat about. And I'll get to that in a second. They've got a slightly statistically better scrum than us, operating at about 90% to our 89%. But other than that, no real stat to point out. Attack-wise, they are worse than us in every statistical attacking category except clean breaks. And this is my major point on the Emirates Lions. They structurally don't have the coaching. They don't have that structure, that system, elite system to take them over the line. But they possess a backline of ballers. Individual brilliance is the name of is how they like to attack and how they like to try and get back into games. You're looking for the Rubs, the Edwil van der Mavers, the Money Russes, who was really good against Glasgow in their victory 2 weeks ago. So they're not going to be able to outcoach you. They're not going to put together a system of play that ultimately ends up with a try. But you kick on them, you miss a tackle, you give them a little bit too much space, and those individual ballers can hurt you. As they run out, weaknesses, line out is very poor, operating at just 81%. We know defensively, very poor. But I think this is a Lions team playing with a little bit more confidence than we used to. They were really good against a good Glasgow team, even missing their Scottish international. So, ultimately, we are looking at a hungry team, a desperate team, and what I always say, a wounded lion is a dangerous animal. This is a team fighting for its life. They need to win today to start elevating that log and try and somehow get into the playoff picture. And as I say that, here come the Vodacom Bulls. What an incredible game we have in store for you this afternoon. It is so hot here at Loftus Versfeld. Sold about 20,000 tickets. Maybe doesn't look like 20,000, but still big crowd, vocal crowd, energetic crowd, still high of that incredible game against the DHL Stormers 2 weeks ago. Can this Vodacom Bulls team that have copped a couple of losses, maybe a little bit low in confidence, can they step up to the plate, secure their name, cement their name in the playoff hunt, and get to that crucial number 4 spot on the log to win a home quarter final like they did last season? We'll find out soon. And so, in terms of a prize, you know we love to give those away on the show. Cheers, by the way. We're going to give away 4 tickets to the Vodacom Bulls double header against Leinster and against Zebre. So back-to-back weeks. So that's 4 tickets, effectively 4 games, 2 weeks in a row to witness the Vodacom Bulls take on Zebre at Emirates Airline Park and to see the Lions take on Leinster there. And then the following week, we switch it around. Vodacom Bulls against Leinster here at Loftus Versfeld. Lions against Zebre. So 4 games for the price of 1. 4 tickets to give away. Make sure you comment below, get involved, ask me a question, leave a comment for the boys. Who do you think is going to win? If it's the Vodacom Bulls, by how much? Get active. The most active commenter will end up winning that incredible prize as we brace for kickoff via the boots of Mornay Steyn in his 151st game for the Vodacom Bulls in the URC and Super Rugby. Here we go, kickoff, the sun pelting down, baking here on the high veld. Instantly a great tackle by Sibongile Novuka operating on the right wing. That's what you love to see. It's akin to a heavyweight boxer. Lands that killer blow early on. Already confidence up, and the Vodacom Bulls have won the ball. Here's Dylan Smith operating against his former team. He played back-to-back Super Rugby finals with them. Corno Hendricks out wide. Big hits on him by Robs Makswane. Emrose already upping the ante, playing quick. Bit of a slow roll out there. Here's Mornay Steyn out the back door. David Creel. Not too much there. Holds the ball. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just getting a cap because I'm absolutely roasting up here. As I said, one-man band. If you're just tuning in, my partner in crime, sorry, I got a bit of a big melon here. Let me just sort this out. My partner in crime, Kulekane Hlungwane, unable to attend today. So for the first time in Bullseye history, it's a one-man show. I'm going to do my best here, ladies and gentlemen. It is cooking. How do we feel about the Vodacom Bulls? Immediately, we're going for the line via the boot. Sorry, for the post via the boot of Mornay Steyn. He was pretty much perfect against the DHL Stormers 2 weeks ago at Loftus Versfeld, and I thought he kind of reinvigorated the backline when he took the field. So let's see what he can do from the start here. I'm going to actually use my phone this afternoon just to answer as many questions as I can. Mornay Steyn perfect in front of the posts. Vodacom Bulls draw first blood. 3-0 to the home side. Very much in the playoff hunt. But not just that. We are seeking a home quarterfinal. You see what a home crowd can do for you? That's the goal here today. Orchid asking, when are we going to get a defense coach? We're actually saying that's our weakness. We actually are getting a defense coach for next season. Jake White's said that publicly. But we don't want to just get any guy off the street. We want to actually have a proper process, bring in the right man for the job. So we are getting a defense coach. We've identified that as a potential weakness. He'll join us for the start of the next Vodacom URC season. Great collect there from Ulrich Loh off the restart. Beats 2 men. He's playing in sublime form. As I said earlier, 10 successful carries against the DHL Stormers. That was the most by any player on the park. Sean saying at last, Mornay starts. A lot of people very high on Mornay Steyn starting for us, even at the ripe old age of 38. Bulls winning today, says Orchid, says Marissa, says Annie Pretorius. Former winner, friend of the show. Come on, Bulls, says Lester Cleveley. Where are you watching, Lester? Where's KK, says Annie? Yes, KK, as I mentioned now twice, is unfortunately unable to attend. So I'm a one-man band today. Annie asking, or saying, hashtag Rishi your way. Gotta love Ulrich. Yeah, he's in phenomenal form. Truly exceptional form at the moment. And I back him to actually go to the World Cup. And I think within the next year or two, we're going to see Ulrich starting, either maybe in the 7 jersey for the Springboks in the green and gold. Let me know what you think. Where's Ulrich's best position? We know he plays 8. He's bashed the door down at 8th man for the Vodacom Bulls. But is he more of a 7? A lot of people think he plays more like a 7 than a traditional 8. You know, he plays closer to the ruck, more physical, great in the line-out, that momentum gainer, momentum breaker that you want from a Ruan Fenter, for instance, that you see from the Lions. So perhaps that's the future for him, but at the moment at the Vodacom Bulls, he's playing lights out at 8th man. Okay, comments flooding in our Bulls all the way from XX England, says Leicester. Dricky saying, watching from Bali, Indonesia. Incredible. As we say that, Dricky, penalty Vodacom Bulls holding on. I just want to see who actually is getting the plaudits there. Could have been Eskom. Tell you what, Marco van Staden, 14, that's his 15th turnover in the URC. He's leading the URC, but quick tap and go from the Vodacom Bulls. Probably not the right option. Novuka, sorry, it was Wande Samlani got caught with the ball and man at the same time and knock on. So Emirates Lions will get a scrum. Pretty much on the Vodacom Bulls 10-meter line. Nicholas Yuri saying the fourth spot up for grabs. Bulls power. Bulls won by 19 points, says Gerardus. What do you guys think of that? That's a big call. 19 points against any team, and I want to hammer this point home. There's no such thing as an easy win in the Vodacom URC. I don't think that exists. Maybe Zebre. Other than Zebre, no such thing as an easy win. Hopefully going to France too to watch the game there, says Lester. Watching from Pune in India. Pune in India. Go Bulls. Actually spent 6 weeks backpacking in India. Absolutely loved it, Fricky, must say. Backing the boys all the way. Hashtag Richelieu your way, says Annie Pretorius. Yes, please. Hashtag our sponsor, Richelieu your way. There's the first carry from Marius Lowe, the Lions captain. Nice tackle there from Ulrich Lowe, just holding his man up. He's so physically imposing, but the arm is out for a high tackle potentially. Here's Nohamba. Beats his first man, gives the offload. It's a poor one. One back by Dylan Smith of the Vodacom Bulls. Will go back for the high tackle. Yaku Paper, the referee. What do you reckon the Emirates Lions do here? Probably go for posts, I would imagine. Tie things up. Just over 5 minutes in. Johnny Lombard most likely eyeing the post. No Jordan Hendricks, of course, after the shoulder injury. Yeah, bringing out the kicking team. Actually, it's going to be Nohamba who's going to have a crack at the post. He does have this ability to his game. He's really, really wily in front of the sticks. Reino Rierlinge saying Sabu getting a hat-trick today. He scored a phenomenal try last week, pretty much set up by Ulrich Lowe. But I thought he was really good in his return to the Vodacom Bulls. We know he's been out of the system for months with mental health issues. Was up in Barberton and in Mpumalanga with his father. He just needed to reroute, he said, and now he's back and playing and flourishing for the Vodacom Bulls. So perhaps hat-trick on the cards if the game opens up a little bit. Watching from Paul, says De Jager. Go Bulls and Mornay Steyn. As I say that, Nohamba converts, and as a result, the score is 3-3 after a touch over 6 minutes at Loftus Versfeld. A hot, sweltering Loftus Versfeld, my goodness. Struggling up here in the gantry, ladies and gents. Keep those comments coming. We got 4 tickets to give away to 2 Vodacom Bulls games in back-to-back weeks. One at Emirates Airline Park, one here at Loftus Versfeld. You want to win that prize. All you've got to do, get involved, ask a question, give us a comment. You could be in the running for that sensational prize. Andre saying, I'm watching from the hospital. Sorry to hear that, Andre. Hope you recover soon. Hopefully the Vodacom Bulls can get this one over the line. Give you something to shout about. Here comes Sabu and Nkosi. And now Ulrich Lowe in the tram lines. He's on his opposite number. Gives the offload to Cornel Hendricks. Knocked backwards, I believe. Yes, knocked backwards is Yaku Paper. Ambrose comes away with it. He's got his captain, the workhorse. The man who won the Iron Man Award last year for most consecutive minutes. What a player. What a leader. Wandi Simelani, this is where he's dangerous. And here's David Krill. Puts boot to ball. Ricochets off of a line shin. Goes out. So Vodacom Bulls line out. Very lucky that was, because if a Lions player was able to pounce on that, there was no one back. Wandi obviously up in the attacking line. No one back to recover for the Vodacom Bulls. They'll have a line out. Johan Grobelaar, a man who most certainly deserves to have at least one Springbok cap to his name by now. Absolute workhorse. So many workhorses in this Vodacom Bulls pack. Here's Ambrose Papier. Picks out Mornay Steyn, and the big carry from Eskom. Ruan Venter, the big blindside, making the tackle. Mornay Steyn in the pockets, up and under for Novuka to chase. Knocked on by Edville. Vodacom Bulls, pretty much a free play for them if they can recover this ball. They hoover it up, but the Lions offside. Penalty Vodacom Bulls again on the Lions 10-meter line. This will be interesting. What do we do? Do we line it up again? Do we go for the line? Comment below. What do you want to see the Vodacom Bulls do? I'd like to see us go for the line here, and that looks like that's exactly what we're going to do. Ruan Nokia, the captain, Mornay Steyn, pinpoint accurate, drills it 5 meters out from the lines. That's as good as you can get. That's the veteran presence of Mornay Steyn. A century and a half of caps for this union. What a player. Yes, says Macy. Yes, let's go. Hashtag Richie says Annie Pretorius. The Greyhound's going to have a big day today. Orca Gravenstein. I think you're referring to David Kriel there, the Greyhound. Line out went a little bit awry for the Vodacom Bulls, but they're still in possession. Ambrose Papier picks out Johan Grobela. Papier again, Morne Steyn, flat ball! Cornel Hendricks, half gap, just opened up for him. Looks like the Lions have stolen it, unfortunately. PJ Buerta, their less than impressive hooker. And Nohamba, poor pass. The kick, pretty much a chip down the middle of the field, spits off the turf, and here's Novuka. Returns with interest. Ambrose Papier down the blind side. Look here, the captain, offload back to Papier. Pumping the legs, what a leg drive. Can he stay in field? He's out. Enterprising play from the Vodacom Bulls. Odd choice of kick there, odd kick selection from Gianni Lombard. Not looking for touch, not looking for the sky, just kind of, I don't know if that was the intended kick. It just kind of pushed it up the middle of the field, no real distance, and there was a hungry Sibongile Novuka to kind of hoover that ball up and return with absolute animosity. He's a big lad, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. You can spot him out on the field. He's a big boy. We know he's got the guile and the speed, but he's over 6 foot. 6'3", should I say. And a little under 100 kgs. Big lad, quick as well. Looks like a penalty against the Vodacom Bulls for hands on the deck. So all of that excitement, all of that manufacturing of attack comes to a pretty jarring halt, and Nohamba is going to pin this one into touch. Modest touch finder from the diminutive halfback Sinele Nohamba, the former Shark. Riveting player, Nohamba. He's got a mouth on him as well, so he's a cheeky little bugger. But he backs it up. He's a good player. Nuggety. Never shies away. It's what you want to see in a scrum off, and I think I can give Ambrose Papier the same compliment. Another player that doesn't shy away. Line out time, PJ Buerta. Johnny Lombard fires one out, zips it to Rubs Maxwane, 1-on-1. So Nkosi makes the tackle, almost did him inside out. Great defense there from Sabu Nkosi. He's up for this one. Lions playing within their own half, playing with fire, some would say. Buerta again, hard working, if underwhelming, man in the number 2 jersey. Lions properly slow now, probably going to clear. Look at the size of Asanati and Klabakanye. My goodness, he's had a big Christmas. Up and under on Novuka, who clashes with Nkosi. That's not what you want to see. Nkosi clutching his abdomen. He looks okay, but the Lions have space. Kewen Horn. He's got Edwil van der Merwe. You're not going to stop him. Ambrose Papier reaches out, can't make the tackle. It's a tough one. And Edwil van der Merwe is going to score the try and get the gritty out at Loftus Versfeld. First try goes to the Emirates Lions. Not what you want to see. Unfortunately, the combination of Nkosi and Novuka unable to collect the high ball. It's a tricky one. They just clattered into each other. Just goes awry. Lions pick it up, and then the counter's on, and they got space out wide, and kudos to them for being able to exploit those wider tram lines. But once that ball was in Kewen Horn's hands, and he had Edwil, one of the fastest men in the competition, to his outside, and you had scrambling Vodacom Bulls defense, it was pretty much tickets. Kewen Horn 1-on-1 with Morne Steyn. Nothing Morne Steyn could do. Had to bite and take his man, and then Edwil van der Merwe had pretty much a free run to the try line. Ambrose made it as difficult as he could for him. And Ambrose, let me tell you, he's no slouch either in the pace department, but the try scored by the visitors, and they now race out to an 8-3 lead with the kick to come, which is pretty much a gimme for Nohamba. Chip shot in front of the post. This will be extended to 10-3 and a 7-point chasm for the visitors. Vodacom Bulls need to get into this and catch a wake-up quickly. Let's return to the comments. Trying to keep up there. Okay. A lot of people saying we should have gone for the line, which is what we did. They won our confidence. They back our confidence. I think the Bulls are going to take it. Horn says Dylan Spielman, hoping for a great derby. It's been good so far. Both teams clearly up for it. Just Lions just looked that little bit more threatening, perhaps, in the early stages. My blood is blue, says Macy. Sean Crawley saying, please, at least a 20-point win. That's a big margin. Even against the Lions, a team languishing at 12th, it's a big margin in the derby, let me tell you. Give this commentator a buzz, says Annie. I'm doing my best here, mate. Tough to do both parts here. One-man band, as I say. Wandi Simelane collects the high ball. Vodacom Bulls in possession inside the Emirates Lions half. And here is Mornay Smith, the Vanilla Gorilla. Gets pelted by his opposite number in Klabakanya. I tell you what, he's a man who's been absolutely laying other players out. Ask James Fenter. Annihilated the Nuggety open side flank when the Lions did battle against the Sharks a while back. Ambrose Papier in the pocket is Mornay Steyn. Opts for some territory. Lombard's tracking back. Collects it. Gets the banana out. Up midfield. Mornay Steyn's on it. Lets it bounce now. Was that the right option? No real chase. No real aggression from the Lions. Mornay Steyn. Also the line. That's a great clearance from the veteran. Up to the halfway line, Mornay Steyn, and this is a quote that I love about him. He eats what he kills. So if you're going to kick that ball onto him, he's going to make you pay. He's going to eat what he kills, just like any predator in the wild. You kick that ball, you give him an easy opportunity to boot it back onto you. He's got that ability. He's got the ball on a rope, and he's going to find touch, and he's going to make you pay. Up to the halfway line now, Vodacom Bulls, defensive line out. PJ Buerta with the ball in his hands. He's not the most accurate hooker in the comp. As we said earlier, Lions just functioning with an 81% line out at the minute. That's very poor. Nohamba inside ball. Edwin van der Merwe. Tackle has to be made, and it was. And there's so much space. Here's Chatuka, Emmanuel. Finally stepping out of his older brother Shadow Vincent. Playing great rugby. He's got more successful tackles, more successful carries than any other Lions player. So brilliant defensively and on attack. He's the feather in the cap of an elite back row, in my opinion. Klabakanya, short ball to Smith. Eskom could be over this. Oh, I think he put his hands on the deck first. Penalty from Yaku Paper. Goes against the home side. Not getting the rub of the green. 23.5 minutes to go at Loftus Versfeld. Pack crowd. Tell you what, Lions looking good. Tails are up, playing with confidence. Nahamba's going to have a crack at the post here and extend this beyond a 1-point margin. Sorry, 1-score margin, should I say. Yeah, Shanae saying, I hope you put some sunscreen on. I'm absolutely cooking up here. We must build a lead in the first half. Someone saying, need a big talking to at halftime from Jake White. We need to break down their confidence, says Annie. Yeah, keep those comments of encouragement, of support for your team going. It's a long game, remember. No game is won in the first half. But our team on the rope slightly at the moment. Of course, we know rugby's a game of momentum. Jonathan talking about a game plan again. A lot of people have criticized our game plan. I just think against the Stormers, we didn't quite have the efficiency on attack. I would actually like to see, and I don't think Bulls fans will agree with me, I don't like to see us play too much running rugby, keeping the ball in hand too much. I like to see us play a bit of a pragmatic game plan. And here's Money Russ, who was so explosive against Glasgow, but hit hard by Jan Grobela. Lions set up a pod to work the angle. Nohamba has the ball. He's got Lombard in the pocket. Just too easy for the Lions. That's Kewan Horn. Does he find touch? He does. Wandi's going to take it quickly. He's got Mornay Steyn, and he's got Sibu and Kosi to his outside. Steyn, off for the up and under. The chase from Wandi. What can he do here? He's one-on-one with his opposite number, Horn. Horn's missed it. Can we apply some pressure here? Vodacom Bulls have it. Wandi Simelane. There's a knock-on, unfortunately. Wow, the crowd were jumping out of their seats. Wandi Simelane was almost off. Knock-on caught from the Vodacom Bulls. A little bit, I like that from the Vodacom Bulls, and that's more like it. Really pinning the pressure on this Lions back three there. Full of pace, full of dynamism. But how are they going backwards? How are they retreating? How are they under the high ball? How are they defensively? That's why I would like to see them get tested. Kewan Horn's a young man. But again, bottled it on the up and under. Wandi Simelane is a relatively short fullback at just 5'10", but made life difficult for Kewan Horn. So nice from the Vodacom Bulls. I'd like to see the ball in Mornay Steyn's hands and on Mornay Steyn's boots a little more often, because I think that's where we can really test this exciting, albeit rather unstructured and poorly coached Lions team, if you don't mind me saying that. We're going to have a water break here. So opportunity to return to the comment section, please. And if you guys want to win 4 tickets to Vodacom Bulls versus Leinster and Vodacom Bulls versus Zebre back-to-back weeks, one's in Joburg, one's in Pretoria. They are both included in double headers that also include Lions games against Leinster and Zebre. So it's effectively 4 games for the price of 1. We're giving away those 4 tickets. What a prize that is. Make sure you comment, ask a question, get involved, use hashtag Richard Your Way, share this post. We'll probably give the prize to the person who is most active in the comment section. John saying, I've lost my belief in the Bulls. Come on, John. It's too early for that, mate. And he's saying we need to give the ball to Morne. Agreed. Hashtag Richie Your Way coming in from Shanae. Damn it, come on, Bulls, says Leicester. Kicking the ball away isn't helping if you don't apply pressure on the team trying to catch it, says Orchid. Agreed, Orchid, but I think we did apply phenomenal pressure in the previous up and under. Focus, Bulls, says Zanny. I tend to agree with Orchid. I just think if we're going to kick, we need to contest, but I would like to see that ball in Morne Stein's hands a little bit more. Yeah, again, Justin saying, give the ball to Morne. I just think Morne's got that quality, that experience that can put this game to bed. I don't think we need to play fire with fire and we need to try and attack all out and play champagne rugby against the Lions. I think the Lions wilt when their backs are against the wall. It's a pressure game. Put your foot on the throat and let them run out of breath. Big scrum from the Lions. This is something I was worried about. It's going to be a penalty to the wayside. I think he's copped Dylan Smith here. The man who's just come in at 1 for Gerard Steenenkamp. He's getting a rest. Is it Dylan? Oh, it's Morne Smith. Yeah, it's Morne Smith on the tight head. That's concerning. When you see your scrum go back like that, that is very, very worrying. Francois Klopper on the bench, as is Simphiwe Matanzima. No strangers to the blue jersey and no strangers to arenas like this. But Morne Smith was a bit of an up and down, bit of a mixed bag against the Stormers. I thought in periods dominated, other periods, I don't want to say got dominated, but certainly got the better of by Brock Harris. But overall, I think Morne Smith is turning into a very fine scrummaging tight head. Just can't afford those lapses in concentration. Emirates Lions, attacking line out between the 22 and 10 meter line of the Vodacom Bulls. Score is 13-3, 10-point gap now. Frankie Horn not even opting for the maul. Marius Lowe tucks and goes. All Emirates Lions on attack at the minute. Buerta. Mahamba. Willem Albers ran the dummy line. Edwin van der Merwe in midfield. Can't let him get going. Tackles made. Bit of feast or famine with this Lions team at the moment. Moments of brilliance punctuated by moments of, don't want to say poor play, but certainly not exemplary play by any means. Vodacom Bulls all over that from Jacques Duplessis, but Yaku Pape is going to ping him once again. Vodacom Bulls just cannot get the rub of the green at breakdown at the minute. Oh, it's no rollout. Penalty Lions, what are they going to do? They're going to go for the line. Wow. Big brave call from the visitors, going for the line. Vodacom Bulls just haven't gotten out of second gear. They just seem to be going through the motions at the moment. And I think at home, all Vodacom Bulls fans were expecting, I don't want to say a blowout, but certainly a relatively convincing win. At the moment, it's not looking too good. Unfortunately, our record of 15 consecutive victories at home was broken against the DHL Stormers 2 weeks ago, but this is a fortress. This is a tough place to come and play rugby. It's certainly not easy to win here. Very few teams do. Surely we can't allow back-to-back teams to win. Here come the Lions, 4 meters out. Nohamba. Russ. Crossing. Or is it a knock? It's a knock. We'll have a scrum to the Vodacom Bulls. Let off the hook there. Waves of applause running through the crowd. They can't really believe what's going on here. But we'll have a defensive scrum. And surely an opportunity to, if not win a penalty, at least relieve our lines. 18 minutes to go in the first half, and unfortunately we've been pretty much on the back foot for the last, I'd say, 15 minutes. What can Morne Smith, Dylan Smith, and Johan Grobler cook up here. Last scrum certainly did not go their way by any means. Emirates prepared to feed. Scrum looks stable. Early push from the Lions, counter from the Bulls. We go to Mornay Steyn. Far too much time for a veteran of his quality, and he's going to make a nice clearance between the 22 and 10-meter line of the Vodacom Bulls. Nice exit, cool, calm, collected. That's what you expect for a man of that quality, of that experience. But Vodacom Bulls still on the back foot now. Another attacking line out for the Lions. They butchered their last attempt. Are they going to be able to manufacture or cook something up that's a little bit more lethal? Right now, Lions controlling the middle third. Those are between the 22-meter lines. They're dominating that area. They go to the front to Nohamba. Almost snuck away, but manhandled by Eskom. Shuts the lights out there. Nohamba back on his feet. High work rate. And Klabakani, 150 kg behemoth in the number 3 jersey. Fenter, speaking of behemoths. But he's monstered by Viesenkamp. Vieja could be in trouble here for lifting. The tap from Nohamba. Yaku Papers let it go. This is going to be a try for the Lions. Got to see if that was in the right spot. Surely. Roanoke pleading his case. Surely we're going to go upstairs here, because I'm not convinced Sonele Nohamba tapped it at the right spot where the penalty took place. Of course, was it even a tip tackle from Viesenkamp? We need to see if it was a penalty was deserving in the first place. Not that that can be reversed, but certainly the try can. Not going to see from that angle, are we? Initial glance was that Nohamba was maybe a meter or two ahead of where the penalty took place. We've got to get a closer angle, surely. Looks like the try's been awarded. Yaku Paper happy. Well, now we're in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Lions have raced out to what's going to be a 20-3 point lead. 17-point chasm. 15 minutes to go in this first half. It's been a disaster. We did mention 8 changes made by the coaching staff. 5 new players in, 3 positional, but still so much quality and experience out there. Do not expect a scoreline like this against the team 12th in the comp. Got to turn it around quickly. Got to apply some pressure. As we said, Lions dominating the middle third at the moment. Need to play in the right areas. Mornay Steyn's going to get us back underway. Crowd pretty mum here at Loftus Versfeld. It's a short kick, shallow. Nokia makes it difficult, but the Lions have won it somehow. Duplessis over it. He's not going to win that ball. Fenter, big physical customer. Burley. Lions looking for another pod perhaps. Skuman. Met. Goes nowhere. Lions still outside of their 22. Are we box kicking here from Nohamba? Yes, we are. Chases on. Putting it onto Navuka. He's got a lot of ground to make, but David Krill's won it. Very shallow kick from Sonele Nohamba. And here come the Vodacom Bulls. Rare spots of attacking impetus from them. Can they create something? Cornel Hendricks. Ulrich Low runs into 2. Rubs and Marius Low. And still gets over the advantage line. Dylan Smith. A little bit one-dimensional from the Vodacom Bulls at the minute. Here's David Kriel. David Kriel breaks the line from centre. He's got no one with him. Long ball out. He finds Navuka. Inside, outside. Can Navuka get over? He can't. He's brought down 2 meters out. Oh, he was in touch. David Kriel, take a bow, son. He's been absolutely sensational playing at right wing from the Vodacom Bulls this season. We had him on the podcast, the Bullseye Pod. Go watch that if you haven't seen it, where he said that this is the most confident and comfortable he's ever been playing pro rugby. Jake White shifts him to 12. He actually said that 12 and 13 are his favorite positions. And he's looking really lethal. First real opportunity, slices them open. Need more of that in the pass The pass, ladies and gentlemen, to Navuka was pinpoint. Pity we couldn't get the finish. But I love the enterprise. Q and Horn all the time in the world. Got to apply more pressure than that, but it's not an elite touch finder. Would like to get a little bit more meat on the bone there, and he's cleared between the Emirates lines, 22 and 10 meter line. So in the shade on the far side, Vodacom Bulls will set up with an attacking line out, a rare attacking line out. And with 12 minutes and some change, and a 17-point deficit staring them in the face, they're going to have to get to work very, very quickly. Grobela will feed. Do we go banker ball? Surely you got to ruin Nokia in times like this. It's a safe option. We do. Emirates will appear. Mornay staying in midfield. Finds David Krill again. Threatening the line. Beats his first man. Gets us over the advantage line. Quick ball to Ulrich Low. Lines him up. Gets the offload away to Nokia. Edwin van der Merwe was all over the ball. Did he win it? He didn't. The Lions have made this very messy for the home side. Arms out from Jaco Paper. There's so many numbers now for Cornel Hendricks. He finds Wandisile Similani. Mr. Hot Stepper exploiting the blind side. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Vodacom Bulls staring a 17-point deficit in the face. The revolver was cocked and ready, but they stepped up to the plate. They got working behind their pack, and then Mornay Steyn pulling the strings from pivot opens them up, but the offload from Ulrich Low takes two, always commits two defenders. They couldn't quite bring him to the deck, got the offload going, and that put the Vodacom Bulls in behind the Emirates Lions defense, and then it was just a simple maths game, numbers. And I'll tell you what, the quality of Cornel Hendricks and Mornay Steyn, probably over 200 or almost 250 caps between them. They have more than enough ability and experience to put Wandisile Similani away in the corner. Vodacom Bulls now 20 points to 8. Mornay Steyn is a very difficult kick. Hugging, almost kissing the close touchline here on the angle. You back him every day of the week though, don't you? Is he going to nail this? Comment below. Do we back Mornay Steyn? 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go in this first half. Vodacom Bulls finally fire a shot. Sun's in his eyes. That's not going to help either. Takes his time with it. Steps to the ball as he's done so many times. The kick is just short. Don't see that very often. Mornay Steyn misses. 12-point ball game. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Vodacom Bulls finally creating something. Comment below. What did you think of that try? Do you want to win 4 tickets to see the Vodacom Bulls at Loftus play Leinster, a final game of the regular season, and see the Vodacom Bulls play Zebra at Emirates Airline Park? Back-to-back weeks. It's going to be a festival of rugby. Comment below. And I'll try and work through as many comments as I can. We are dealing with a bit of slow internet at the minute. Restart from the Lions onto Sheep. Jacques Duplessis takes it cleanly. Comments pouring in now. Bulls all the way. David Krill is just great, says Annie. And apply the pressure. Mario saying, so when is the game started, Mario? This will be a line out for the Lions. Another attacking line out. See Bonga, what is going on? Come on, we just scored a try here. Don't worry, mate. Come on, guys, it's a must-win game, says Zany. Tide about to turn, says Glenda. Yes, it looks like it. I think we've discovered our confidence again, which is what you want to see. Come on, Bulls, says Sia. Come on, Bulla, says Marco. Let's keep going, guys, says Annie. Let's fire another shot here. Here comes Nklabakanye again, the big man. Nohamba, Lombard, PJ Buerta. Arms out again from Jaco Paper, as it has been throughout this first half. Give the shoulder a rest, mate. Jeepers. There he gives the penalty. Nohamba's going to tap and go again. Got to mince him now. David Krill catches him. We're going to... Oh, now we go back. Now we go back, Jaco. Jeepers, he's doing my head in this like. Now we go back. Not when you score a try 2 meters, or you tap 2 meters away from the penalty occurred. Come on, Jaco. Get that lid fixed while you're at it. Sorry guys, I'm going to try and get to as many comments as I can. I know I've missed a few, unfortunately. But as I said, one-man band. A lot to do here. Please bear with me. Nahamba's going to line up the post. This will be a gimme for him. And they'll get 3 back. Michael saying, terrible game, I've seen enough. I think the problem lies with Jake White, says Andre. Don't speak too soon, Andre. We'll get there. Where was the support, says Boppa. Yeah. Michael saying, top 4 finish is now gone. It's not yet gone, Michael. It's not yet gone. And saying, am I eligible for the tickets from Peru? And so if you can get the flight tickets, we'll sort out the tickets to the game. Emirates Lions kicks it onto Mornay Steyn, finds touch between the 10 and 22 meter line on this close side in the sun. Haven't played too much rugby here. Kleinman saying, Yaku's one of the best refs. Yeah, he can be. I agree, he is one of the best. But a little bit trigger happy today, especially for the away side. But like we said, guys, it is so difficult to be a referee in the modern day game of rugby. So many laws to be applied, so many grey areas. The laws are certainly not helping. So we call them laws instead of rules because they are open to interpretation, but there are just so many of them. It makes it very difficult for the players and the referees to be consistent. Here comes Eskom. Eskom's away. What a carry. Beats Ruan Venter. Throws a brutal offload that just kind of spits over the face of Veya Steenkamp. And here's Rabs Maxwane. He spotted some room. He's kicked onto Sabu Nkosi, who's won it. Sabu's done so well to clean up there and save the Vodacom Bulls once again. Embrace Sapir wants the blind side. Dylan Smith puts his hand up, says no, it was just him and Grobies on that side. Not enough to exploit the deficit. Mornay Steyn clears. Edville goes quickly to Gianni Lombard. Up and under for him. Mornay Steyn's going to have to deal with this one. He's going to have to decipher it. He does. Give it now. Here's Wandi Simalani. Here's Cornel Hendricks. Spots tight forwards above him. Sabu Nkosi. Offload to Ambrose. Can he score it? Finish it, Ambrose. He does. What a try, Vodacom Bulls. Oh my days. Sabu Nkosi, are you for real? You have no right to throw that offload, sir. My goodness. What a try. Sabu Nkosi finally gets the ball in a bit of space. It was not a forgiving ball whatsoever from Jan Grobelaar. He has to reach behind him to collect it. He does so. Has the ball in one hand like a Fijian Sevens player on the beach. Steps on the inside, gives the offload. Embrace Sapir. We're going to see if this is forward. Oh, we're going to have a look at this. Please do not rob us of a potential try of the season for a ball that may be drifted a centimetre forward. This angle won't do it. Ball in one hand. I think that's flat. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's a try. Certainly can't tell from that angle. You need a side angle. Oh, we've got some deliberation here. We're having another. Okay, this is the angle that'll probably tell us. It's got to be obvious. Looks backwards out of the hands for me. That's a try. That's fine. That's flat. Got to take into consideration momentum as well. It's flat out of the hands. That's a try. No try. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'd love to have another look at that, or at least a closer look. And look flat out of the hands for me. It can drift forward. That doesn't matter as long as it's backwards or flat out of the hands. Of course, if you two objects moving forward, momentum dictates that the ball will drift slightly forward as long as the pass out of the hands isn't forward. So another blunder from the TMO and referee in cahoots, of course. 23-8 is the score at Loftus Versfeld. Touch under 5 minutes to go. What has been a pulsating first half. Maybe not for the home team necessarily. Certainly haven't dished up their best rugby. But again, as Glenda said in the comments, perhaps turning a corner here, perhaps the tide is turning, certainly looking more threatening on the ball, which is what you want to see. Only worry is that our scrum might wilt. Let's hope it doesn't. Can it stand up to scrutiny? As I mentioned, 4 minutes to go. 23-8 is the score. I've got a massive bet on this game, boys. You better pull this one through. Nahamba strums sturdy for now. Will it remain so? Does. Vodacom Bulls get a shove on. Nahamba's going to use it. Here's Marius Lowe. He'll go up the middle. Eyes Mornay Steyn. Goes over the top of him, but that ball spills out. Here's Emmanuel Tatuka, who gets hammered by David Creel. Penalty, Vodacom Bulls. Exactly what we needed. Decision time, ladies and gentlemen. Do we take the 3 points on offer? Do we go for the line? I think it's maybe too late, perhaps, to go for the 3. It's a gimme. Surely we go for the line here. Yep. Mornay Steyn drives that into the corner. Good touch finder from the veteran. Perhaps a last opportunity in this first half for the Vodacom Bulls to create something special. Mornay, your ace, this is Gerardus. Annie saying back. Mornay saying all the way, the GOAT. Yes, let's have a momentum shift, says Shanae. Quality, Mornay saying that's what the doctor ordered. Now let's get another 2, says Orchid. Come on, Bulls. More time from the Vodacom Bulls. First real opportunity to work behind that rolling maul. It's got some bite to it. It's a nasty rolling maul. Now it shifts sideways. Call from the referee hasn't come yet. They're going to have to use it. Grobbelaar beats one. Does so well. Then gets held up. 5 meters out. Sheep. Good carry from the big lock from Montpellier. Cross kick. Mornay Steyn is too far, is it? Sabu scores. It's a try. He's got it. He will not be denied, ladies and gentlemen. Sabu and Corsi. The balls from Mornay Steyn to spot the space. I thought he maybe overcooked it a touch, but it sat up beautifully off the deck. Sabu and Corsi with the dexterity to wait, the patience. And he dives on it, scores the try. Vodacom Bulls have their second. Mornay Steyn's going to line it up from pretty much the same spot as the last one. Another tough kick. 13-23 is the score. Can we reduce that deficit? Mornay Steyn's got the ball on the string. I tell you what, he puts his laces through it. And then Sabu and Corsi, as I mentioned earlier, will not be denied. He's got his fingerprints all over this fixture so far. He's been sensational, backing up a dominant display on his return last week, dishing it up as well. Sabu and Corsi, what a try. His second for the Vodacom Bulls, tries in back-to-back weeks. Almost had a try assist as well for Emirates Papier. What can Mornay Steyn do from the corner? Minutes and some change at Loftus Versalt in the first half. Steyn, eyes up the posts. It is off the upright. Can you believe it? Doesn't get closer than that. 1 minute to go. 23-13, 10-point deficit. Vodacom Bulls clawing their way back into this one. Into the Trans-Jukskei derby. I tell you what, entertainment all over for this crowd. Almost 20,000 strong. Shade almost completely over the main field. Pity it hasn't reached the east stand yet. I'm struggling here, ladies and gentlemen. Molting as I speak. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Lombard. Will he go deep? I assume he will. He does. Onto Ulrich Lowe. What do the Vodacom Bulls do here? Nice carry, Ulrich Lowe. I assume we're going to clear. Up and under, Navuka to chase. Onto Kuan Horn, nail him, Navuka. They get him. Can Marco Verstappen work his magic over the ball? He can't. 5 seconds to go. What do the Lions do? You would think set up a phase and clear and get this ball off the park. They'll be happy with a 10-point lead. No doubt about that. Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. Low. No, they're going to have one more crack. Wow. Big call from the Lions. Yeah, now they just clear. Crudely booted in by Sanele Nahamba. So, that's half time, ladies and gentlemen. In the Trans-Jukskei derby, 23 points to 13, 10-point deficit for the Vodacom Bulls, in a little bit of a hole. Certainly didn't expect that against the team languishing in 12th on the log while we had 6th. Both teams fighting for a playoff spot. Lions' chances are much, much more difficult than ours. We actually precariously trying to get a home quarter. Doesn't look like we're going to get one if we continue playing like this, but some bright sparks to end that first half. Looking to work behind the rolling more. I think Mornay Steyn has been absolutely sensational with the ball in his hands and through his laces. Sabu Nkosi has been a real live wire, bright spark on the left wing. Other moments of dominance from the likes of Elriglo and Marco van Staden, but we just need to get some more plays together, go through some more phases, and play in the right areas. And ultimately, I still think the Vodacom Bulls are going to pull this off. By how much? Maybe that is the question. But both teams, all to play for in the Trans Yuxke Derby, 10-point deficit. It's going to be an absolute humding in the second half. I'll see you for that soon.
And obviously keep some guys fresh going into another break after this.
Yeah, so I mean the first thing, Brent, is that we have Kanan and Kirtley. I mean they're obviously in that Bok camp, so that's the first. I mean obviously change we had to make, and they've also Bungili comes in and we just move one dealer back to fullback, which he's played for us. So those two, and then just in terms of changes, I mean the others are minimal. I mean most of those guys have played together. Front row, for argument's sake, we've been very happy with Gerard, Grobbies and Morna have played so much rugby together. I think I would like to see what Dylan's like. He's got, as I said, 3 Super Rugby finals. He's 28 years old. He's, it's time I give him a chance as well. So nothing untoward there. And then, as you know, I mean, Bernard van Linde very rated as a scrum half here, so we give him a chance in Zach Burger's place, and Ambrose obviously starts. And Mornay. It's just, again, we've got so many games coming up now. We're going to play next week against the Pumas. The following week we play Province, and then we play Ulster and Toulouse. So, we're going to have game time for both our 10s.
Yeah. It's not ideal preparation for those games overseas. I mean, but Lions, having the Lions down there in the break.
Yeah.
But I suppose in one way it's good to get the Lions so that you can get back on the horse and try and...
Yeah, look, I mean, we're obviously still disappointed about losing to the Stormers, especially being 12-3 up. I think if we had scored at 12-3, I think a game would have gone a different way. Those are the margins that we all face, all as coaches. And we got 2 weeks off, but that doesn't stop us from using a couple of options in the next 2 weeks to get ready for Ulster. I don't think we can go into the Ulster game not having any contact for 2 weeks. So we're going to have to box very clever in the next 2 weeks. But before we get there, we're going to have to make sure we beat the Lions team. And as I said to you just now before we started, massive team. I don't think they could pick a bigger team if they tried. I think those are the biggest players. If you go through Asanati and Willem Alberts and Skuman and Ruan Venter and Chichuka and Horn, they're probably the biggest team they can put on the field. So biggest pack of forwards definitely. So it's not going to be easy. But you said it rightly. We've got to get back on the horse. We lost a game that we thought we could win, and now we've got to make sure we turn it around.
You've been hoping for some Welsh teams to stand up this weekend as well. And you guys a favour?
Yeah, and some Italian teams. I think Zebra play Glasgow tonight as well. But I think one of the things that you've seen in this competition is you can't rely on anyone else. People forget. Last year Benetton beat the guys who ended up winning the competition. People forget that, and Benetton were the bottom half of the table, and yet they still beat the Stormers. So I don't think you take anything for granted. So we just got to focus on making sure. We've got 4 big games now. And the first one is tomorrow against the Lions, so we've got to make sure we tick that box.
Jake, just a word on David Kriel at 12?
Yeah. Look, I think he's just so multi-talented, Kobus. I think one of the things, just a philosophy of mine, I'd really like to pick a backline of guys that can interchange, because I think the game, this is just what I think, the game of having a number on your back as a back is, you look at, some of the best sides. I remember the Australian side when they had Latham, Larkham, Roth, Burke. They all played fullback, and ended up playing in the same backline. So, as I said, I think a guy like David, Harold is going to have a baby soon. His wife's going to have a baby soon. He can't tour with us. That means we're going to have to find someone to fill that role. David did play 12 for us at the beginning of the season when Harold was not available. And I just think, that he's just got so much talent. He's a guy we're obviously building. If you look at a guy like Frawley who plays for Leinster, same sort of thing. He's got a great work rate. He's tall. He's got enough pace. To play inside centre. He's quick as an outside back, so that helps us as well. And he can kick. So long term, I think it's the fact that he can play 12, 13, 14 and 15 is a bonus for us. So I'm actually quite excited because, I mean, I think the last time we played the Lions, he played 12 as well, and he played really well in that game as well.
Jack, talking about your 10s, talk to us about Goosen. Is he still in the mix?
Yeah.
Right? What's going on?
Yeah, he's probably about, I think about three weeks away. So, yeah, I think again, Simon, you'd appreciate the poor guy. I mean, he's out for such a long time. Now he's got another injury, and every time he gets 2 games in, he goes, 2 steps back again. And he's definitely in our plans. He's signed till 2026. We all know how talented he is. I mean, I think if you look at his career, every time he's just about looks like he's getting his game together, something happens. And it's just the way it is. So part of our job as Bulls is to assist him over this time. Thank goodness we've got a lot of Currie Cup games, and I think we can use him in those Currie Cup games to get back and get his confidence back. Because as you know, when he's on fire, he's the difference between our training sessions when he's training for us in terms of pace and intensity goes up. The GPS goes up miles. So we're just going to hopefully bide our time, get him fit again. But which other team can have Morne Steyn and Chris Smith, as the 2 backup fly-offs? There are not many teams around that have got that depth at fly-off. So we're very fortunate.
Is Goosen just injury prone, or is there no real answer?
No, look, I think he's one of those kids. I mean, he got a shoulder injury, but I think if you think about it, I mean, he's a tough little guy, and so it happens like that. He's not one guy who shies away from, and I think he's been unlucky. I think if you look at a guy, I mean, Butch James, for argument's sake, I think he had about 9 knee operations. He ended up winning a World Cup final. So who knows? Maybe we just got to, things will change for him, and hopefully we'll get the best out of him in the next couple of years as well.
Jake, you mentioned the positional switch of one day Similani going back to 15.
Yes.
Paulo Hendricks now at 13 with
Yes.
Krill.
Yes.
How different do you expect? How different is the game plan when you have that particular center pairing?
Yes.
And when you did move Wande Similani into the 13 position, did you see what you wanted from him there?
Yeah, look, it's a good question, because I'm going to say this to you. It's not so much what Wande does; it's about what combinations do. So sometimes he can be all right, but does it work with Harold as an example? And I'm not saying it didn't. Does Harold and Lionel, who've played together many times, offer me more? So it's not in isolation about did I see that guy. I'm looking at combinations, and I think one of the things that I'm very fortunate of, I've got a long-term deal here. I've got a lot of players who've signed long-term deals. I mean, if I use Kanan's here till 27, Johan's here till 2026, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So it gives me an opportunity to try different combinations, because I know what I get. As I said, if I play Lionel and Harold, or if I play that front row I just told you now, I know what I get. But who knows, if I add Dylan to the front row instead of Gerard, maybe we're better. If I add 2 centers with the wingers we have, maybe we're better. Only time I'm going to find that out is if I actually trial it. And it's because it's a long-term plan. And we want to be in the knockouts and then be able to pick the best combinations of what we have, not be forced sort of to pick what we've tried and tested. So that's my thinking. I hope you understand that there's a philosophy behind it. It's not just got some Currie Cup games now where I'm going to, even like a guy like Sibongeli, he's played fullback. He's one of the success stories for us as a union. He played Varsity Shield. He's played EPCR, and this is his first URC game. That's an incredible rise to glory for him. And as I said, if he plays wing well, we might move him to fullback sometimes as well. And he offers us something. I think that's part of our philosophy here, is to try and get a combination of players that can play in different positions, especially, as I said to Kobus, backline-wise. I really believe that that's where the game's going. I think that you've got to be able to be adaptable. In multi-phase, it doesn't matter what number you're on. If you're the first receiver, you've got to be good enough to pass.
And just to follow up,
Sorry, Yulu. The contract extensions, guys, there's a hard embargo on it, so you can't use that clip up until we make that announcement. Okay, and that goes for everybody. Thank you.
Lucas, can I just touch
follow up.
on Spogi the Vuka afterwards?
Yes.
I don't know if you've told the story before, but even for me as a person from the outside, it also seemed like a fairy tale type of story for someone to go from Varsity Shield rugby
Correct.
and go straight into the Bulls franchise and actually get his opportunities at top level.
Yes.
Can you just take me through how that process happened, how you identified him and thought, okay, maybe we can use this player in our system?
No, well, firstly, we saw him at Varsity Shield on TV. I mean, and then we brought him here and had a look at him, and I mean, he covered all the boxes we needed. You know, he's quick, he's tall. And then, unfortunately, as he was about to get into the system, he tore his pec muscle. You know, so he's one of those guys who was out for a long time as well. But you know, he's got everything. He's got everything. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's he's also hungry to make it. But you're right. I mean, for me, as I said to you, it's a great story. I mean, to get a guy from where he comes from, Varsity Shield, even his background. Yeah, he wasn't at a big boys' school that people picked him up. And now he's playing, you know, as I said, URC, and he's played against Leon in the EPCR. I mean, there's not many guys who played a Heineken Cup from a background like that. So he'll get better, you know, he'll get better. And opportunity comes. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't have, but I mean, if Kanan was available and Kirtley was available, maybe the door wouldn't have opened for him. Now it's open for him, and hopefully he plays well, and then he continues to grow in the system.
Jack, the Lions will be highly motivated after Glasgow over the weekend. Last weekend.
Yeah, look, Kobus, I mean, I can tell you this honestly, we're not underestimating them at all. You know, I mean, they're tough to play against. You know, even the beginning of the year we played them there. You know, we struggled. We had, and I read an article where people are right. We had Marcel and Walt, and we still struggled to get over the line there. You know, in terms of getting a result, we didn't get a bonus point. People expected. You know, people that are followers went, oh no, it's an easy game away from home. But you know, I think they'll get confidence out of that. There's been a lot of turmoil at that thing. Sometimes that galvanizes a group as well. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. But you know, we're desperate to win. We played well. I mean, against the Stormers, other than once or two little lapses we had, you know, we gave them a drop kick from our poor exit. We gave them that try on the short side after the scrum, and again, just defensively made a silly read. And as I said, 12-3, I can tell you, just the momentum of that game, if we'd scored after that, let's say it had gone to 19-3, it would have been a hell of a difficult task for any team to come against us. So my message to the players was, let's not get into doom and gloom. It's now knockout stages. We've got 3 home games. We've got to make sure we play our best rugby now. And then it goes hand in hand. Then we pick the best combinations and we get into the playoffs. And you know, once you've got a lotto ticket, you've got a chance to win. You know, if you don't have a lotto ticket, you can't win. So we just...
All right, 10-point ball game at Loftus Versfeld in the Trans-Jukskei Derby. I don't think anyone really expected the visitors sitting in 12th on the log to be this, I don't want to say competitive, but this dominant against a team at 6th. Vodacom Bulls I think they switched off mentally a little bit for about 20-odd minutes in that middle part of the half, allowed Emirates Lions to score 2 tries to increase that scoreboard pressure. Vodacom Bulls found their mojo a little bit late, got into their groove, pulled it back with 2 tries. Ultimately, I'd love to see Morné Steyn really grab this game by the scruff of its neck, play that territorial, pragmatic kicking game that he is just world-class at, let our pack get to work, and then let the outside backs, the likes of a Sabu Nkosi, Novuka, Wandi Simlani, all look threatening in different ways, and David Kriel, who's looked really direct and strong and dangerous, and he's threatened when he has the pull in his hands, but we just haven't had that territory that we need to really threaten the scoreboard too much. Hopefully, we can turn that around now in the second 40. Let's get underway at Loftus Versfeld. Kick is very deep. It's a nice carry there. I believe that was Ulrich Lowe once again. Just the master under the high ball. That's how we like to utilize him. Up and under on Q and Horn. Novuka's all over him. Like a rash. Nohamba, Ruben Skuman, big physical but nice big hits. And then number 20, Carl Brink, the hitman, is on the field, I believe. Vieira has taken his absence. Here's Ulrich Lowe. Long ball out to Novuka. Sabu Nkosi went forward. Japers. What a start. I thought the Vodacom Bulls were in there. Big hit. Carl Brink. What a way to reintroduce yourself into the fray. Like a missile in the number 20 jersey. Just races out. Absolutely destroys, dominates Ruben Skuman. Turnovers made. Ulrich Lowe, that pass. You would think he was a fly half the way he's throwing that ball out like that. Beautifully weighted ball. Bit of miscommunication between, I believe it was Wandi Simulani and Sabu Nkosi. Rare mistake from Nkosi, who's in a real purple patch of form, looking really dangerous, back-to-back tries. Almost set up another. Here's the first scrum of the second half. Comment below, what are you drinking, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a Richelieu? Is it a beer? Hopefully it's a Richelieu. Comment below. What is your score prediction? Are the Vodacom Bulls going to pull this out of the fire, first of all? Secondly, by how many? Sun really precariously in the eyes now, especially on the east stand. Going to have a reset at scrum time. It's the only change I'm seeing. Mornay Smith still out there. Grobbies, Dylan, same front row. Only change I see is Carl Brink. That'll certainly add a physical edge to this back row. Going up against a back row that in my mind is elite. You've got perfectly balanced loose trio for the Emirates Lions. Ruan Venter, should I say, big, physical, nasty, kind of a hybrid lock flank that you like, that momentum gainer, momentum breaker that you want in a blind side. Frankie Horn, their most dynamic runner, their top try scorer with 6 tries. He's accustomed to these 50-odd meter tries, really quick and great footwork and guile. And then Emmanuel Chatuka, he's the real feather in the cap of that elite back row. He's just a workhorse, a machine. Leads them in dominant tackles and successful carries. Penalty Vodacom Bulls, much better scrum. That's what you want to see, a roar from the crowd. Vodacom Bulls perhaps getting under the skin of their visitors slightly. I think Mornay Smith's getting the plaudits there. He seemed to pop old JP Smith. And Mornay standing immediately, ball in his hands. Penetrating kick from the veteran. Roughly 10 meters and some change. 3 minutes into the second half, 10 points is the difference. Rolling Mall started to work up a head of steam towards the end of that first half. Can it continue? Here we go with Pampuna, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, deep ball off the line out to Carl Brink. Holds on to it. Does a hitman still on his feet. I love this kid. Papier, eyes up sheep. Like a Welshman. Big carry. Jacques Duplessis finds his captain, the workhorse, the Iron Man, Rondo Kier. Emrose, upping Natty. Here's Eskom. Can he put the lights out on Ruan Venter? Lions all over it. Vodacom Bulls very narrow in attack now. Here's Ulrich Lowe. Crowd's getting into it. 19,000 strong sheep. Slightly isolated, still fighting. What a sight to have him back. The captain, there's space out wide. If the Vodacom Bulls can shift it. There's a knock-on. Is there? There's a knock-on. Emirates Lions have it. Poor end to what was such a promising passage of play. It's Q and Horn. Kind of squirts off the side of the boot there. Vodacom Bulls only really retreating about 5 meters or so. They'll be happy with that. A reminder at home. 4 tickets to watch the Vodacom Bulls take on Leinster right here at Loftus Versfeld in our final game of the regular season. On top of that, watch the Lions play Zebra as a curtain raiser, and the week before that, watch the Vodacom Bulls play Zebra and watch the Lions play Leinster. 2 double headers back to back, 4 tickets for both of that. It's 4 games for the price of 1, ladies and gentlemen. Tough ball for Navuka, I believe it was in midfield, and he's just spilt it on the angle. Sibongile Navuka. Vodacom Bulls looking to play behind the speed and power of Navuka, but they said he's just motioned. The ball was behind him, pretty much on the hip. When you're running in at that speed, I think it was from David Creel. Yeah, it was way too behind him. That's not on Navuka. Just need to get there on the same page there. Get that synergy. Of course, this is a completely reshuffled backline. 8 changes to the team, ladies and gentlemen. 6 of them in the backline. The only player remaining in his position from the Stormers game is Sabu Nkosi. Navuka's in, Mornay Staines in, David Creel's in at 12, Hendricks in at 13, Wandi at fullback. Total reshuffling. So you would expect that it's going to take a little bit more time to get on the same page. But once they click, this is a backline full of ballers. Look at them. Vodacom Bulls real purchase in that last scrum. Can they apply some pressure? Tighten the screws. Lions having none of it. They're going to get it out quickly. Nohamba down the blind side. Horn's going to take them on. He gives it to Edville. Navuka catches him. Carl Briggs won this. Incredible Vodacom Bulls. Terrible Lions. It's on for the Bulls now. Wandi Simalani, the hot stepper. David Creel gets offload. Wandi again. Hendricks. dinking, diving. Vodacom was what were the Lions thinking? Attacking from their own 22 from set piece. What a steal from the hitman. What an impact from Carl Brigg against his former team. The Vanilla Gorilla sets them up again in midfield. Ambrose Papier. Steyn running out of numbers with the Vodacom Bulls. Cornel Hendrick sees that. Goes on the inside. Gets met. Still in possession, but they've been driven backwards. Sheep again. He only knows one way. Gets the offload to Brink, who's having a wild, my goodness, Carl Brink. Game of his life. Okay, Mornay Steyn again. Out the back door. Kriel. Wandi Simelane puts boot to ball. It's a shaky one. They're going to score in no ways. Is it a try? Yaku Paper going upstairs. I think the Bulls have scored this. I think the Lions have bottled this. And like a thief in the night, Wandisile Simelane has gone into the Lions' home and stolen one. Asleep at the wheel a little bit. Edwil van der Merwe was hoping that ball was just would just peter and fade into touch. It didn't. It was a live one. It spat up over the surface, stayed in field. The pressure applied from Navuka and Wandi in tandem. And then Wandi, there's no other word to describe. That's a thief move. Scores the try. My goodness. Robin Hood steals from the rich and gives to the poor. Right now, we are the poor, but we're getting close. We're getting close. Is the try going to stand, however? Navuka was behind Simelane, so that's not an issue. Pressure applied on Edwil. Kind of booted by Navuka, and then Simelane dives on it. That's a try, ladies and gentlemen. That's a try. Does the ball go out? Is there a hold on a Lions player off the ball? That's the other worry. That's the other question, perhaps. Edwil's kind of touched it, though. He's touched it there. And then they're just fighting for it. Ball stays on Navuka. You have got to be kidding me. If you do not have the privilege of seeing this live, Sibugile Navuka somehow put his foot around the body of Edwil van der Merwe and kicked the ball back in field. Somehow, some way, Sibugile Navuka. What a bit of individual brilliance. And Wandi was there. Again, now they're seeing if Wandi was behind Navuka when the kick was made. Surely we're not going to be starved of another incredible try. They look in line to me. They look perfectly in line to me. It'll be an absolute technicality if this try is disallowed for Wandi being ahead of the second kick. No, they're in line. There's no ways you can overrule that. That's a try. It'll be a crying shame, a disgrace to the sport if this is disallowed. In line. In line. You have to give benefit of the doubt to the try scorer. It's a try. Yeah, in line. Foot's out perfectly in line. Yeah, that's a try. That is a try. You're not going to tell me any different. There's no ways they're not awarding this, surely. Looks like it's going to be a try. Is it? Try awarded! Listen to that! Wandisile Simelane, Sibugile Navuka, take a bow. What a try. Daylight robbery at Loftus Versfeld. My goodness, it's going to be front page news on Sunday morning. 15 tourists robbed at Loftus Versfeld. Crime certainly on the up in this country. Look at that. What a try. We'll take that in spades. Another toughie for Mornay Steyn to convert. We're pulling this one back, ladies and gents. 18-23, kick to come. Has he got it? He's missed another one. 5-point ball game. We've halved it in the space of 6 minutes. I'm going to try and get to as many comments as I can. The Arch is saying, I knew Sabu would have a big day. Someone else said that he was going to get a hat trick. He's got one already. Can he get any more? Time for, geez, Ron. Debunkosi saving us is Sean. Restart. Vodacom Bulls in possession. Well done, boys. Keep it up, says Mariska. We're going to win this game. Get behind the ball, says Orchid. Exactly. Away, Sabu, says Gadija Galant. Try again, says Siabonga. Keep them coming, ladies and gents. 4 phenomenal tickets to 2 games. Rodney saying Bulls now a force to be reckoned with. I agree. Keep those coming. 4 tickets to give away to the person who is the most active in the comments. Sun is getting really difficult now to see on the field. It's almost completely covered in shade, but the sun's still in the eyes. The up and under from Q and Horn. Robs Maxwadi's won it. He's been quiet, uncharacteristically so. Dangerous right wing. Skuman, Nohamba, Lombard. Opts to go inside. Running out of options. Nohamba again. Emirates Lions playing from deep. Edville van der Merwe almost went between 2 tight forwards. Unsuccessful. I'm sure they're going to clear now. Low. Doesn't. Venter. Tackles made by Ambrose Papier. That was a mismatch if there ever was one. Johan Kobela wins. Wins the turnover. The man in the crimson scrum cap. Mornay Steyn immediately looks for the line. Vodacom Bulls tails up now, playing with confidence. Steyn off the side of the boot. What a kick. Mornay Steyn whoops his banana out. Krobela now to feed the line out. Vodacom Bulls about 10 meters out. Krobela. Banker ball. Carl Brink at the front, setting up the line out. Immediately, Ambrose Papier. Hendricks gets monstered in midfield. Penalty in from the side, Vodacom Bulls. And that just did not look good from the start. Carl Brink at the front of the line out. I thought we were going to set up the rolling more. Came away with it early, then looking for Cornel Hendricks. Running the unders line, and it was just read like a book. 2 Lions players in on him. Absolutely melted him. And then they got on their feet. Vodacom Bulls cleaners were late to the party and had to go in from the side to prevent the turnover penalty. Correct call. 2-man hit. I think it's Money Russ and Marius Lowe. Money Russ has done himself a mischief though. Yeah, for those of you that are at Loftus Fassard and listening to this commentary, Biggie will be performing after the game on D Field. Tell you what, no one does atmosphere like Loftus Fassard. 41,000 in against the DHL Stormers. A touch under 20,000 in this afternoon. After losing a game at home, to still pull 20,000 people is incredible. Incredible feat. We're looking at this hit now again on Cornel Hendricks. I don't think the team knows. I just think we're looking at the shoulder of Money Russ. I'm going to return to the comments. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get through as many as I can. There's a lot here. The kick from Nohamba. Spots it between the 10-meter line and halfway line. Vodacom Bulls. Game Bulls, Lions. He's saying Lions being well, but go Bulls, says Lawrence. And here come those Lions in a bit of space. Q and Horn. It's tackled, finally brought to ground on the 22-meter line of the Vodacom Bulls. Bulls are making a good comeback. Come on, love it. Go Bulls, says Kenneth. Don't let them get to you, says Annie. Sun's making it almost impossible now Lions in possession. Robs Makswane on the right wing, went forward. Vodacom Bulls let off the hook once more. Still a 5-point ball game. Touch under 28 minutes to go at Loftus Versfeld. We'll have the scrum. Comment below, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe the Vodacom Bulls can pull this off? Can they pull this game out of the fire and win? We need it. If we want any chance of a home playoff fixture right here at Loftus Versfeld, we have to win this game. Can they do it? Comment below. You could win 4 tickets to right here at Loftus Versfeld, Vodacom Bulls versus Leinster, the team topping the table, undefeated in the Vodacom URC. Incredible. Scrum time again. Vodacom Bulls have pulled this one back at scrum time lately. Mornay Steyn fires one down the pipe. Robs Makswane, it sits up for him. He slips. He's on it now. He's got Kewan Horn to his inside. I think he's had a relatively good game. Kicking hasn't been great. Tackles made, met hard, Kewan Horn. Lions still in possession. Wandi Similani, Mornay Steyn back for the Vodacom Bulls. Nohamba's going to clear. Puts it right on Mornay Steyn. Chases on from Rubs. It's out on the full. Lions now coming away from their structures. Not playing with that impetus, that animosity that they played with in the first half, where they just looked so comfortable, so calm. Looked like it was a training session for them. There was no pressure on them. Vodacom Bulls looked like they had the weight of the world on their shoulders. Perhaps a momentum shift there. Nohamba putting it out on the full. I think he's been almost flawless in this fixture. Francois Kropper on for Mornay Smith. Still 26 minutes to go. Line out time, Vodacom Bulls. I don't think we'll try too much trickery now after the last debacle. I think we go banker ball. Finds Ruan for Mark, who's on for Sheep. Staying in midfield. Gives it to Eskom. Beats the line. In behind Lions defense. Ruan for Mark. It's monstered. You don't see that very often. Big physical customer, but the Vodacom Bulls still in possession. It's been slowed down. Matanzima on as well for Dylan Smith. Papier. Blindside to Ulrich Low. Dummies goes. Vodacom Bulls playing with fire a little bit. Carl Brink. Eskom again. So physical in midfield. Papier. Steyn. Hendricks. Gives it to Nkosi. Jeepers. Shoves off Robs Makswane like he was nothing. The hitman. Gives it to Klopper. Gets met by Nklabakanye. He's folded a few customers in his time. Steyn. Hendricks spots a bit of a gap. He gives it to Krobela. Gets the offload away. It's intercepted by Kewan Horn, who went forward, however. Don't need to be giving those. We'll go back for the forward pass. Unnecessary from Krobbies. I think it's one of those cases of he committed to a decision. He beat the line. The offload was on. Probably held onto it and hesitated for a second or two long. And I think the opportunity left. Made it late and went forward. Vodacom Bulls, no need now to over-egg the pudding. No need to overdo it now. We're in the ascension, in the driving seat, 5 points adrift, but all the confidence and momentum is with us. Play your natural game and you'll win it. There's no doubt about that. But when we start forcing passes, gambling at line-out time, that's when we come away from the kind of rugby we want to play, winning rugby. Mind at home, 4 tickets to 4 games of rugby. It's one of the best prizes we've ever given away. Make sure you comment below if you want to win it. Guy just saying, apply pressure, Puller, you can do this. Lackables, come and get another one, says Annie. Bulls have started late, says Nicholas. Bulls are making a good comeback, says Kenneth. Keep it coming, ladies and gentlemen. I see we've got a big crowd watching now at home. Rita saying they'd better win, else I have to wear a Stormers jersey 4 Saturdays in a row. My goodness. What a nightmare. What pressure. Rona saying the Bulls can win, enough time to score 3 more tries. Says Orchid, yeah, can we get the bonus point? That's the question, Orchid. Or are we getting ahead of ourselves? Do we just want to sneak the win? Do we want to go out in style? Okay, we're packing down for another scrum here on the close side. Bernard van der Linde on. So I'll tell you what that means, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to die wondering. He's there to up the ante. Already he's getting into it with Nohamba, having words. Wow, I love to see that. You just got on the field. You're a kid, a lighty. Size up Nohamba. Not much to size up, but gets right up in the grill of Sanele Nohamba. Making a start again. Chewing the ear of Sanele Nohamba. I love to see that from Bernard van der Linde. Will his play mirror his trash talk? Let's hope it does. Scrum time again for the Emirates Lions. They started creaking slightly, and you got a guy like Nklaba Kanye who's 150 kg. He's a monster. He's a mammoth. But when you're carrying that amount of weight, starting to get into the business rounds now, the champion rounds as they call them, that's when you start to suck in the big ones, as they say it down under. And that is not a euphemism, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, scrum time. What can we do here? New front row. Matanzima's on. Klopper's on a tight head, short arm to the Lions. Are they going to take it? Are they going to just drain the clock some more? They want another scrum, I assume. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to just go for another scrum. Let time tick away. I saw there's 24 minutes to go. Just a 5-point ball game. A little bit early to be with the whole clock management, slowing things down. But they've managed to pretty much bleed a whole minute off of the clock in the interim. Plenty time for the Vodacom Bulls to score 2 tries. I've laid a bet on World Sports Betting. I need the Vodacom Bulls to win by 8 today. So please, ladies and gentlemen, can we pull this off? Can we make me some money on my first solo gig in Bullseye? Scrum is solid. Nohamba uses it. Lombard. Low. They're going to go wide. That's forward. They knock it. Another almost criminal decision from the Emirates Lions, and obviously I absolutely love it to death. But why would you be going for a long, lofted ball inside your own 22 when you've got a 5-point lead? You're trying to bleed the clock out a few seconds ago. It's the second time they've gone for it. Just an odd decision all round. And again, they run into trouble. Going to be now a scrum for the for the Vodacom Bulls, for the home side, pretty much bang on where the Lions scrum was. So just gifting, it's effectively the equivalent of taking the ball and giving it right back to us, giving us the pull. Call them Lindsay Lohan. Tell you what, it's a vocal crowd at Loftus Versfeld. Electricity, energy, vibe, palpable. You're missing out if you aren't here. I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in Gauteng, you are missing out if you're not one of the 19,522 people that have packed Loftus Versfeld this evening. Scrum sits up. We're going to have another reset, and this is where I start getting frustrated. We had 3 resets on the scrum on the close side. It was Lions ball. Going to have another reset now. About 2.5 minutes just gone, wiped out. Very frustrating, and now it's up to the referee to stop the clock or up the tempo now that the packs are the time the packs are taking to pack down, especially on the Lions side. Obviously it suits them to bleed the clock out, but my goodness, Jaco Paper needs to take control of this game. We're still packing down. We haven't crouched yet. It's been 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. Wiped out. Anyway, can the Vodacom Bulls... we're going to have another... Surely time stopped now. Now Jaco Paper wants a word. Time's still ticking away. This is a disgrace. 2.5 minutes gone. What are we doing? Get on with it, Jaco. We got to play rugby, mate. Not watch your one-man show. Come on now. There we go, scrum time. Do the Vodacom Bulls bring down the hammer? They've popped the Lions up, and they got the front foot, and the arm is out. Tough ball for Steyn. Gives it to Krill, who gives it to the hot stepper, Wani Simelani. Puts boot to ball. It's going to find touch. Great touch finder. We'll go back for the penalty. Okay, now real decision time, ladies and gents. 5-point ball game. Do you take the 3 and start chipping away at that lead? Or do you feel your tail's up, you got the wind in your sails, you go for the line? Comment below right now. What do? Line or posts? I think Morne Steyn wants the ball. I think we're going to chip away at the lead. You're going for the line. I love it. Absolutely love it. Again, guys, I'm going to try to get as many questions as I can. Comments streaming in, my goodness. I'm going to try and keep up. Line out Vodacom balls. Saying go for the line. Go for the line. Constant go for the line. Yeah, go for the line. Stop the clock, ref, says Annie. Orchid saying papers a draw. Not again, says Rico. Again, a lot of comments about keeping the ref accountable in terms of clock management. Win by 8, says Sean. That's exactly what I need for my bet, mate. Thank you very much. On the same wavelength there. Annie saying happy birthday next Saturday. Here come the Vodacom balls. Rolling balls looking threatening. It's ominous for the Lions. The crowd willing it over the line. And the try is scored. And Loftus-Versfeld erupts. Vodacom Bulls now dead set level with the kick to come. Can they take the lead for the first time since the opening few minutes of this fixture? It's been all Lions in the first half. But Vodacom Bulls never really kept it an arm's length. They were always in the fight, even 17 points down at one stage. They fought tooth and nail, clawed their way back into this one. Can they truly snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? Morne Steyn's going to line it up. It's been tough for him. He's had at least three tries to convert from the touchline. This one's a little bit more forgiving. Still not an easy kick by any means, not a cakewalk. Can he give us the lead? Still 18 minutes to go. The Lions look gassed behind the post, in the shadow of their own uprights. They look gassed. Morne Steyn! It's over! Vodacom Bulls in the lead for the first time since minute 5. We'll take it. Again, Vodacom Bulls are not going to die wondering. To the back of the line out, 5 meters out. Of course, if you want to set up an attacking drive or a maul, that's where you want to go, but it's the most dangerous ball to throw at a line out, the most difficult throw to execute as a hooker. Johan Grobela, no worries, he's not phased. He's going to throw it every day of the week. He's a competitive man, ladies and gents. 17 minutes to go at Loftus-Versfeld. Vodacom Bulls 2-point lead. Can they extend it? Dare I said, can they get a bonus point? Or am I getting ahead of myself? Ball's going to be down the throats of Ulrich Loh once more. Here's the enforcer. Lines up Edwil van der Merwe. You're not stopping him, and drives, pumps those legs. Former Cheetah and EP King. Can you believe it? It feels like a lifetime ago. I think it's been knocked on. Luckily, I thought Matanzima, first knock on from Sampier Matanzima. That's not what you want inside your own 22. That's pulling a lion right there. What they've been doing. 16 minutes to go. Klabakani is off. Vodacom Bulls have gotten the ascendancy at scrum time of late. JP Smith off as well, and so is PJ Buerta. So totally new front row. And Jan Hendrik Wessels, I believe, has taken the field. No, he hasn't. Still Grobela. So Klopper and Matanzima getting a little bit of ascendancy, starting to get the upper hand. Slightly. But a new front row, fresh legs for the Lions. But probably don't possess the scrummaging nous of an Klabakanya or a Smith. But they'll roll the dice nonetheless. No humber to feed. It's a stalemate, a quagmire. They go to Low, their captain, who's direct and hard. It's pretty much all he can do. It's a trick to play, but he milks the penalty. For offside, that's no humber for you. That's a scrum off. I call him nuggety, there's another word for it. But I can't say it on the commentary. Lions are obviously going to take a shot at post here and reclaim the lead with 15 minutes to go at Loftus Versfeld. My goodness, what a fixture. What a chance, UK derby. I still have faith that we can win by 8. That was the bet I placed. Justin saying we're going to win by 10. Ronald saying make us proud. Glenn enjoyed the over egg the pudding comment. Thank you very much. We need a bonus point, says Annie. Michael saying come on Bulls. Bulls of the Lions number as always. Hashtag Richelieu away from Kenneth. Great scrum bullet, says Yours. We just need one more try for the bonus point. But let's score 3 more, says Orchid. Happy to see Bannett, says Annie. Yeah, he'll up the ante for you. Yeah, Rita, we need to win it for my bet and Rita. She's going to have to wear Stormers jersey 4 weeks in a row if we lose. Bulls can win, says Rona. Come on, Lions, says Krista. I think you found yourself on the wrong commentary stream, my pal. Bulls can win without a doubt. Rishi, your way. Gee, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all of this. We can win, yes, says Zany. Bulls can do this. Bulls can win. Let's go, Bulls. Love the enthusiasm. Bulls will make a good comeback. Gotta love it. Again, Bulls to see a bonga. So, comments flooding in. We won't die wondering, and we still believe, as Vodacom Bulls fans. 14 minutes to go at Loftus. It's a tricky ball for Kewan Horn. He's struggled with his clearances, and he's done a hammy, and it's not out. And here's Simelani. Monestein calls for it. There's numbers if you can get it out wide, and Chatuka's onto Ulrich Lowe. Sorry, it's Robs. But Ulrich Lowe will not go down. 2 men grabbing on. He will not die. They will not bring him down. What a carry, Ulrich Lowe. Yes, for Mark, that's a low shot. Well, I didn't see too many arms in that. Thankfully, the sun has dipped below Loftus Versfeld. Monestein. Eskom. Big carry. Wasn't held. Can bite off a few more chunks. Again, run for Mark. Buries the head. Matanzima inside. David Creel. He's isolated. What a clean Simpuri Matanzima. Miscommunication once more, and it's a knock-on. The Lions have possession, and Vodacom Bulls making it again a lot more difficult than it needed to be. And we'll have a scrum. 13 minutes to go. Lights out at Loftus Versfeld, the crowd getting behind their team. Again, what an atmosphere. Of course it cannot. It pales in comparison to what was just a mass of humanity when the Vodacom Bulls took on the DHL Stormers. But it comes pretty damn close, ladies and gents. And if you're in the Gauteng area, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Do not come out and sample the smorgasbord of rugby and entertainment we have on offer at Loftus Versfeld. Scrum time, Emirates Lions in possession. How much longer will that be for? Jacques Fourie, coach of the Emirates Lions, backline coach, screaming some words into his mic. Nohamba's going to use it quickly. Lombard's going to clear. Of course he is. And Kosi tracking back. He's won it. He's done very well. Wandi Simelani calls for it. Is he going to tear off? No, he's not. He's going to kick. Kewan Horn's just kept it in. Novuka's going to have to make a one-on-one tackle. He makes it. The slip from Horn, but Khubala's over the ball. Hasn't won it. 12 minutes to go at Loftus Versfeld. Big hits from Matanzima. Lions, you just feel now, this is their comfort zone. Can the Vodacom Bulls do anything to disrupt it? Frankie Horn, their most dynamic ball carrier. Lions have hit a bit of a groove as well. They've hit their straps, but as I say, that ball goes up, but they're calling it a knock-on. What? A tackle? Oh, knock-on in the tackle. Says Yaku Paper, 11 minutes to go. Lions nursing a 1-point lead. Okay, ladies and gents, 11 minutes to go. Last few opportunities to get involved in terms of winning those 4 tickets to back-to-back double headers. I don't know if we've given away a prize of this magnitude before on the show. Doesn't get much better than that. Watch the Vodacom Bulls at Loftus Versfeld against Leinster, the top team in the comp. Watch the Vodacom Bulls at Emirates Airlines Park the week before. What do you guys reckon? I'm on Wolves betting now. Do I cash out? Do I stick it out? I need a Vodacom Bulls to win by 8. Let me know in the comments. What do you reckon, ladies and gents? 11 minutes to go. Vodacom Bulls, 1 point down. I need them to win by 8 for my bet to land. Do I stick it out? How much confidence do I have in this team? Of course I have confidence in this team. I'll put the phone away. Vodacom Bulls to win by 8. Let's go. Defensive scrum. What can Kropper? What can Hendrik Wessels? What can Dylan Smith, who's now retaken the field for an injured Matanzima? What can they cook up in the front row? Time continues to bleed out. The clock is hemorrhaging. What can the Vodacom Bulls do now? 2 more tries will do it. Sorry, a try and a penalty will do it, certainly. Big scrum Lions. They're going to use it. Nohamba. Inside ball, almost. Tackle is made. Edwil van der Merwe has been absolutely winded there. They've knocked it. Vodacom Bulls in possession via Jan Hendrik Wessels, the raging bull. We're going to stop time now for an injury, it looks like. Going upstairs. And you never like to see this. Tackle out the ball. Just want to see this. So look at the line Marius Lowe's running. There is a tackle out the ball by David Kriel, but I tell you what, if David Kriel doesn't make that tackle and the pass is made, it's a try under the stick. So again, this is another law that I hate. And I'm going to get the moniker of the disgruntled or bitter Vodacom Bulls fan because my team is losing. But if David Kriel is not in position to make that tackle and the pass is made as it was going to be, as it was all intended by Lombard, who at the last minute decided to keep it, it's a try under the sticks. So what are you supposed to do? The fences are already all up against it in terms of the rule book. How do you operate a rush defense if you have to hesitate at the last second? What are you supposed to do? It's just ridiculous. And Jaco Paper, who I genuinely, and I don't say this often, I think is a world-class referee, has had an absolute abomination, a stinker, beyond all repute this evening. He's been diabolical. And he's allowed a dead average Lions team to stick with us, effectively. And Nohamba's going to kick this over. I don't understand it. And this would be the truth for both sides, ladies and gentlemen. I've hated that rule. Nohamba lands it. Lions extend their lead by 4. 10 minutes to go at Loftus. Again, Vodacom Bulls just coming away from their structures, just not playing their natural game. Chris Smith has taken the field. Can he close his fixture out for us? Goes very deep. To Horn. Tackles made. Lions camped in their 22. There'll be a no rush. No rush to get rid of this. Emrys Papier to Horn, and his kick is out. Wandy wants to take it. Can he? He does. Here's Chris Smith. He's going to run. Gets hit hard, but he's done well as the replacement fly half. For Mark. Late, delayed offload. You don't want to see it. To Nokia. Vodacom Bulls in possession. Bernard van der Linde. Not too many opportunities as of yet to get going. Big carry, Kropper in midfield. Van der Linde again. Working the blind side. They got some numbers. Here's Nkosi. So physical. Remains on his feet. As I said, he's more bludgeon you to death than electrify with his footwork. I mean, that's a early hit there on Bernard van der Linde, and definitely offside by the Lions. Not called by Jaco Paper. Surprise, surprise. Hendricks. Similani. Ulrich Lowe in the tram lines No need to get too fancy with it. The hitman. Jeez, he's strong. Lions contest. They haven't won it. Van der Linde. Vodacom Bulls not really going anywhere. Dylan Smith against his former team. Arm is out. Short ball to the captain. 8 minutes to go, Loftus-Versfeld. Big carry required. It's a great quote. When the time calls for it, I don't call plays, I call players. And we called on our captain there and he delivered. David Krill on the pull. Bit hesitant. Chris Smith. Offside, but Nohamba's out. Here's Novuka. Still on his feet, takes two. Sibongile Novuka, the man from the Eastern Cape. Cropper, great line from the tight head. The burly tight head. And it's knocked on. At the crucial moment. Eskom, who has been a revelation this evening. He's done everything asked of him and more. Knocked it on. Nohamba's getting treatment. He got absolutely sparked out by Chris Smith. What are the Vodacom Bulls do here? Do we go for the line? Do we chip away at the lead? Surely we go for the line. Under 8 minutes to go to Loftus-Versfeld. No, we're just looking at the collision between Chris Smith and Nohamba, but I don't think there's anything to look at in terms of the TMO. Just a horrible angle from Nohamba, unfortunate. And he'll have to depart with for an HIA. No, he won't. He's going to stay on. Absolutely nothing malicious from Chris Smith. I mean, we got man and ball. 7 minutes to go at Loftus-Versfeld. I would love us to go for the line here, and I think that's what we're going to do, because I see Jan-Hendrik Wessels, the Raging Bull, trotting over to the sideline to get acquainted with the ball. Mornay Steyn is going to drive this into the corner. Sorry, Chris Smith, what am I saying? Chris Smith stabs it into the corner, 5 meters out. Great kick, Chris Smith. Jan-Hendrik Wessels. Got a couple of meaty colleagues to pick out in that line out. Do we go banker ball to Ruan Okia? Are we brave to go to Carl Brink at the back? Nokia at the front. Trying to get them all going. Phenomenal Maul D from the Lions. Tackles made. Have to let us present the ball. And they do. Oh, they don't. Scrum Lions. You have to say exceptional Maul D from the visiting side. 6 minutes to go. Ruben Skuman in the thick of it, but yeah. Time now certainly running out. 4 points in it. Try will do it for the Vodacom Bulls. Need to keep the visitors here. They have performed on another level. And I remember in our opening fixture in Johannesburg at the park, they really stepped up and they made us really work for our victory. This is a good Lions team when they want to be. But they've had a lot of inconsistency in terms of their results. Another reset and time continues to just dribble away. Cramp, so we'll have a bit of a respite. And at least time will stop. But a crucial scrum. Not just in the context of this game, but in the context of our entire season. Ladies and gents, if we want a home playoff, we have no option. We have to win. Absolutely no option. On comes Morne van der Berg. Of course, Nohamba, who I think has been exceptional. Just over 5 minutes to go. Scrum sets. There's a wheel on Vodacom. Penalty Lions. Come on, Yaku. Come on, Yaku Paper. You are a melon. An absolute melon. Still an age to go. 4.5 minutes. Surely the Vodacom Bulls don't drop 2 at home. Back to back. That would be a travesty. Van den Berg. Maybe he doesn't possess the kicking ability of his predecessor, Sanele Nohamba, but he's kind of pushed it up to almost the halfway line. Lions will have possession and they'll be in no hurry to take this. Brandon to throw in for the Lions. Nice small defense from the Vodacom Bulls. Arms out from Yaku Paper. This is going to effectively end this contest now. This is going to effectively end the game. 3.5 minutes to go. The Lions are just going to keep pushing this ball downfield as long as Yaku Paper will allow them. I think Ulrich Loh has been pinged as a guilty party for collapsing. Van den Berg. Stabs it out between the 22 and 5 meter lines of the Vodacom Bulls. 3 minutes left in this fixture. Really last chance saloon now for the home side. They have to contest. A try here will end the game. A couple of disgraceful Lions fans below me cheering on their team. Stolen by Ruan Nokia. Wessels puts Eskom under immense pressure. But Marco van Staden up to the task. What a steal. Again, our captain, we needed that. 2.5 minutes to go. What do the Vodacom Bulls do now? I mean, can they get back to base camp? In the shadow of their own sticks. 2.5 minutes to go. Gonna have to kick. I mean, Novuka will contest. He wins it, has knocked it, and here's Edwil van der Merwe, has been knocked again. Lions now in prime real estate. Chatuka, who's been very quiet. Arms still out from Yaku Paper from a knock-on advantage. They're going to go for the line, for the posts. Missed. And now Yaku Paper's decision. Vodacom Bulls have the ball on their 22. As soon as Lombard kicked or went for the post, should I say, that effectively ended their advantage for a knock-on. Chris Smith is going to pump it as far as he can. Under 2 minutes to go. Edwil van der Merwe here. Lions in possession on the halfway line. 1.5 minutes left. Oh, they've lost it of the Lions. Vodacom Bulls in possession. Somehow. Penalty Vodacom Bulls. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Lions, with a touch over a minute, have left the back door open. All they needed to do was wind this game out. Andries Kutsia has come on and had a shocker. Chris Smith finds touch. It's a great touch finder. Vodacom Bulls now primed. They don't need the conversion. They just need the try. Roughly 12 meters away from the Lions try line. What can they do? Group of warriors walking up to this line out. Time ticks away, 30 seconds. What do the Vodacom Bulls have left? They couldn't do it against the Stormers. Can they do it against the Lions? Crowd wills them on. The Maul's got some traction, some serious traction. It's still marching ahead. 5 meters. It looks barely stoppable. Still moving. Still moving. Still fighting. It's been repelled somehow, but they have another bite to the cherry. Do they? It's now been collapsed, surely. The Lions are going to win. Yaku Paper has signaled that the mall was collapsed legally, and he's going to end it. Speechless, ladies and gentlemen. I need to have a closer look at that mall collapse. It looked like it was destined for the try line a meter out. It just fell to the ground, and somehow Yaku Paper has ruled that it was not a penalty. It was not an infringement, and I could be wrong. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a rolling mall of that violence roll towards a try line, collapse at the final push, and for that to be allowed and that to be considered legal by the defending side. Anyway, that's it's going to be that. That's the game. 29-25. I'm not going to say much because I'm shocked, but Annie Pretorius, you've won the 4 tickets. You've been the most vocal, the most active. Thank you for your support. And all I can say is, almost speechless at this point. I thought the Vodacom Bulls had it at the end there. Rolling Mall looked as threatening as any rolling mall we've seen over the course of the 80 minutes, but they just couldn't land the final punch and get the knockout blow and win the game. I'm 100%, as soon as the stream ends, I'm going to go onto my laptop and have a look at that final mall, because something was very fishy there. And Yaku Paper, I think, had an absolute shocker. I wasn't vocally critical of the ref, and I'm no fan of Marius van der Westhuizen 2 weeks ago, but I was not critical of the ref. I thought that he did all right in an absolute cauldron and arena. But this afternoon/evening, I think Yaku Paper has been absolutely atrocious, and I need to have another look at that. How was that mall legally collapsed, rolling a meter out from the try line? Anyway, the game's going to end 29-25 to the visitors, and that'll be that. The Vodacom Bulls succumb to 2 back-to-back losses in derbies, local derbies at home at Loftus Versfeld, and that is a very, very bitter pill to swallow. But we'll see you soon for another episode of Bullseye TV when we take on Ulster in Ireland, in Belfast. We'll see you then. Cheers.